Hi everyone, my name is Angie Norris and welcome to, or welcome back to my YouTube channel, Angie's Book Adventures. And I'm going to be doing a book review tonight. And I'm in my closet. I am in my closet because it is a quiet place for me to do these. Normally I do my book review videos upstairs in my office where I have my bookshelves with my books behind me, but we have that room closed off. We have our two upstairs bedrooms closed off. We heat our home with a wood stove fireplace insert, and we just heat our downstairs. And so it's been pretty cold here in North Carolina. Today's January 22nd, and we had snow here last night, and we don't normally get snow in the part of North Carolina that I live in, and it's been extremely cold here. I think it's about 18 degrees right now, and so it was a little chilly upstairs in my office where the bookshelves and the books are, so I decided to do these book review videos tonight downstairs, and my husband's watching television, so we're doing them in the closet where it's a little quieter. So one of the books that I have read in the month of January so far is a book entitled Blind Spots. And this was on my January TBR list, and I have already finished it. It is a nonfiction book. I purchased this book last October-ish. It came out in September. When it was brought to my attention, it was recommended to me. When I went on Amazon to purchase the book, it was sold out. And it was sold out for several weeks. And I think I finally got it in the 1st of November. And I had some other things I was reading at the time, and then during the month of December I wanted to do seasonal reads, so it kind of got put to the side, but I put it on my TBR list. It was the very first book in the month of January that I read. It is a non-fictional book. It is called Blind Spots, and then the subtitle says, When Medicine Gets It Wrong and What It Means for Our Health. And this was written by Dr. Marty Makary. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. And I just want to tell you a little bit about him. He is a Johns Hopkins School of Medicine professor and a member of the National Academy of Medicine. He has written 2 New York Times best-selling books, Unaccountable and The Price We Pay. He is a surgeon, and he has published more than 300 scientific research articles. He's a surgeon and a public health researcher. He has served in leadership at the World Health Organization and currently leads the evidence-based medicine and public health research group. Anyway, this book was recommended to me. One of the primary reasons that I wanted to read this book, and I'm going to share this with you a little bit about my life, is because in this book, he talks about HRT, hormone replacement therapy. I am 59 years old, and I had a hysterectomy when I was 45, which threw me in to early menopause. And so my gynecologist, after I had a hysterectomy, put me on an estrogen patch right away. And I took an estrogen patch for several years, and then I was introduced to what is called bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Now, I'm going to preface this with the fact that hormone replacement therapy in general is can be a very controversial topic. And the reason that it is or can be is because the medical system scared women to death over 20 years ago when a study came out about synthetic hormones that said it caused breast cancer. And so the medical industry and oncologists and doctors started scaring women to death and telling them to get off hormone replacement therapy. I actually am a person that does a lot of research before I take any medication or before I have any surgery or anything like that. I like to be informed. And so I had done a lot of research about this before I even decided to take bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. And I took them in the form of pellets that were implanted under your skin. I read Suzanne Summers' books. Suzanne Summers was an advocate for hormone replacement therapy. And there's just, I could do a whole video on this by itself, because hormone replacement therapy for women who, especially after menopause or in their 40s, 50s, 60s, we actually need hormones in our body. It prevents and helps with so many health issues, Alzheimer's disease and dementia, bone loss, all sorts of things. But we're scared to death to take it because we've been told for 20 some years that it causes breast cancer. Well, there is an entire chapter that this doctor writes about the fact that medicine got this wrong 20 some years ago, and that there are many doctors today who still have it wrong. And he cites all of the research and the original study and how it was wrong and how doctors have gone back and changed their opinion. Some of the doctors who did the initial study. That is just one of the chapters. There are many other topics that he discusses. Each chapter has a different topic. He talks about the Salem peanut trial, and how the pediatrics field got all of that wrong and told people not to feed their kids peanut butter. He talks about antibiotics. He talks about how, the medical industry got the fact that we should be eating eggs. They warned us not to eat eggs and not to eat butter and fat and things like that. It just chapter after chapter of things that the medical world has gotten wrong over many years, 20 to 30 years. Just a fascinating book. If you like to read medical books like this, if any of those topics, and I encourage you to Google the book and read the synopsis of what it's about. And if any of those topics interest you at all, I encourage you to read this book. I gave it a 5-star. Like I said, it is a non-fictional book. It is an informational book, but I do encourage you to read it. And I didn't know at the time I was reading it, I just found out a couple of weeks ago that Dr. Marty Makary has been chosen by President Donald Trump and will be heading up the Federal Drug Administration, the FDA, under President Trump's new administration. So, excellent doctor. And I'm just going to share with you that in this chapter, which was chapter 2, I've got so much that I annotated and highlighted for reference for myself to go back, because I had to come off hormone replacement therapy when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, because oncologists threatened me and threatened not to treat me and scared me to death and told me I had to come off of it. And I can tell you that the past 3 years of my life have been miserable because of it. So after I'm getting ready to do one more surgery, it's scheduled for January the 27th. I hope this is my last reconstruction surgery. When I recover from that, I will be seeking out my previous doctor and going back on bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. This book has influenced me that much. I mean, not just this book, but many other books that I have read and information that my primary care doctor has given me about hormone replacement therapy. My primary care doctor is in support of me going back on this, and I have made the decision that I am. And it, not primarily, but this last information that was in this most recent book has just confirmed my decision 100%. So that was a roundabout and very long video, I know, but I encourage you to read this book, Blind Spots.